So let's begin. Motions of the earth. Now you should remember that our earth is always in motion. Our earth is always in motion. Not only our earth, every other planet or every other heavenly body is actually in motion. There is some movement that's happening in them. Now you will say, what about the sun looks like it's just standing there, right? Yeah, the sun also moves, the moon also moves, the earth moves, everything around you, around in the sky, it moves. There is a movement, and those are the motions of the earth. We are going to try to learn the motions of the earth as well as the motions of the moon in this lesson, motions of the earth. Okay, now first one is rotation. What's rotation? What is rotation? Rotation means going around itself. All right, can you see how this boy is going, rotating around itself, around himself? Yeah, he's just rotating exactly like a top. I told you to keep a top with you. If you have a top with you right now, I'd like you to use that top. Okay, come on, spin the top and see. When you spin, you see that the top turns around itself. Now, any object that turns around itself actually turns around a certain imaginary line. The turning of an object around itself is called rotation, and the imaginary line that which it or around which it rotates is called the axis of its rotation. Now, can you see there is a particular line in which it is rotating? There is a particular thin line right in the center. Okay, now that is an image. You cannot see that line. If it goes out of the line, it will be like all haywire. Now, there is a particular axis on which it is rotating. It's called the axis. Okay, that line is called an axis. Now, what about that in relation to the earth? Is there any relation with that to the earth's rotation? Yes, there is. Let's try to understand what it is. Now, imagine if your earth had to rotate like a top. Okay, so if it'll exactly rotate like this, right? Exactly straight, it'll keep on rotating around, it'll spin around like that. Okay, but the problem is it doesn't rotate like this. Yeah, the earth doesn't rotate like this. It has a particular tilt. Now this is the axis. Okay, if suppose it has to spin like this, the axis would be this. But this is not the way it works. Our earth rotates in a different way. What is that? There is a particular tilt in which it is rotating. The exact word I can say is theta. हमारा earth theta घूमता है. Theta. Now this theta, this is the actual line in which it's supposed to turn, but it doesn't turn here. What theta घूमता है. Now, because it goes theta, the name of its axis, the Earth's axis, it is actually called as an inclined axis. It's called as the inclined axis. Now, inclined matlab टेढ़ा है. Inclined matlab टेढ़ा है. I'd request Netra to please stop doing all that. Evelyn, can you stop playing around with your screen? It'll be really good. Yeah. Okay. So if suppose you, suppose now what they are trying to tell you, they're trying to tell you is you take a globe, take one like the one in the picture and spin it, note the line around which it rotates. Now take a plumb line. What is plumb line? A thread that you will hold, okay, and down, if suppose there's a heavy weight, then what will happen? This thread that you're holding will be in a perfect straight line, exact straight line. Now they are trying to tell you exactly this. The red line over here is your plumb line, and you will see they're trying to tell you that the Earth's axis is tilted. Look, it's tilted. This is what they're trying to tell you using a plumb line. Now let's try to see that experiment. Now, if you see the Earth, okay, any globe you take, you pick out any globe, whichever size, small size, big size, any globe you take, you will see that the globe is always tilted. Because the Earth's rotation is in a tilted way. वो tilted axis पे घूमता है. The Earth rotates with its axis inclined like this. The line NS, can you see N and S in the picture, shows the Earth's axis. It passes through the center of the Earth. Can you see? It is passing through the center of the Earth. Now, the points N and S are called the poles of the Earth. N is the north pole of the Earth and S is the south pole of the Earth. Can you see? N on the top, all right, and S down. These are the north pole and your south pole, all right? Now, these are the two poles, the tips. Very clear, because see, any globe you take, you should understand that's the north pole, upar wala, niche wala is the south pole. All right, now this was the experiment that was told to you for you to conduct with the pump line. Can you see its pump line is just a thread with some weight down. They're telling you, you can even have a eraser or anything which is heavy, you can tie it down, you will get a perfect line there. If a circle were drawn around the surface of the Earth, exactly in between the north and south poles, it would divide the Earth into two equal parts. Now, this imaginary circle is called the equator. The two equal parts it makes of the Earth is called the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, respectively. Now, can you see there is a perfect line? If at all you had to draw a line, okay, exactly at the center, all right, and you would say that that particular line, that one single line which is dividing, is called the equator. It is not a fat line, it's a very thin, it's just exactly a slash shuck. So that particular line, that thin line, is called the equator, and this equator divides the Earth into two equal parts. That's the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Clear? Now, this is the experiment that you have to do at home in front of your parents. Do not do it without your parents' assistance, because you're using a candle out here. Now, stand a candle in the middle of a large table. Draw a big circle around the candle. Place a globe at any point on this circle. Light the candle. See that it is dark in the room. Suppose that the candle is the sun. Observe the part of the globe gets observe which part of the globe gets the sun's light and which one does not. Now, when the light is falling on the Earth, all right, you should see to it that the light which is falling on the Earth is the part, all right, where the sun is reflecting its light. The other side, you will see that it is dark. Clear? Keep that in mind. All right, if you do not have a globe, you can do this with any ball that you have. Okay, you can do it with any ball, any kind of a ball, but it has to be a ball. Please keep that in mind. All right, now looking at the globe from the direction of the north pole, from north pole, if you see when you see it, turn it anti-clockwise. Remember, the Earth rotates anti-clockwise, it doesn't rotate clockwise. How your clock is rotating, uski opposite mein the Earth rotates. Now, this is how the Earth rotates. That is, it rotates west to east. As the Earth rotates, its different parts come into the sun, into the light of the sun, one after the other, and turn away from it also in the same order. As the light it's coming, see the Earth is rotating. Some parts come in the light, the other parts go in the dark. Can you see in this picture? This one side there is light, okay, the other side it is dark. Again, it's not the same. After some time, again it's happening. Correct? This part where there was no light, again is going in the light. Again, it's coming in the darkness. Again in the light. This is going on happening. Correct? Now, this is how you get your sunset and sunrise. Remember, the sun doesn't go down and the sun doesn't come up. This is what we feel. We see and we think that the sun is going down, sun is coming up. No, sun is in its place. Okay, it is rotating around itself in its place. We are the ones who are rotating, all right, and that's why we can see the different parts of the sun, and we feel that, oh, it's setting or it's rising up. Now, stick a bindi on the globe. No need to have a bindi. You have to find out where is India. Now, set up the previous model of the globe and the candle. Turn the globe anti-clockwise. Note when it is sunrise, noon, and sunset at the location of the bindi, which means, can you see in the picture, the part where the light is not falling is fully dark. So you should understand that when, see, now the Bindi is exactly at a place where it is what? It's going to become dark. If suppose you're rotating it like this, all right? You're anti-clockwise. Now that part in the Bindi, that is, for example, your India is going into the darkness. Again, when it comes back in the light, it is daytime. Again, then it's going back, right? So this is the rotation that keeps on happening of the earth. Now, after one sunrise light mein aaya, note when the next one occurs at the Bindi. It came to the light, it went to the dark, again it came back to the light. Now, when you see, went from the light, dark, and again comes back to light, it completes one rotation. One rotation. You will see that it happens when the earth completes one rotation. That is when it makes one complete round around itself. Okay, one complete turn around itself. This period of time that the earth takes to complete one rotation is called a day. Now, the day has two parts, correct? In one whole day, you have two parts. You have the daytime and the night time, or simply day and night. For the purpose of measuring time, we divide the whole day into 24 parts, each of which is called an hour. And so we can say that when the earth completes one rotation, एक बार जब घूमता है around itself, खुद के around घूमता है, it completes one day. It completes 24 hours. That is equal to one day. Clear? Now, what about a year? What is a year? Now, with this year comes the second the second motion of the earth, and that's revolution. Now, what is revolution? Now move the globe. Look again back to your back to the picture over there. Okay, the experiment. Move the globe along the circle on the table. As you do this, keep rotating the globe and ensure that the axis does not change its orientation, which means don't change wo tilt inclined axis hai, keep it like that only, but keep it revolving around the sun. Rotate it also and revolve it also around the sun. Eventually, the globe will come back to its original place on the circle. This is how the earth revolves around the sun, even as it rotates around itself. The period of time the earth takes to complete one revolution around the sun is called 1 year. There are about 365 days and 6 hours in a year. Oh, wow. Did you realize that? Okay, now can you see this? The second picture over here, the third picture over here. The earth is rotating around itself as well as it's going around the sun. Now, when it goes around the sun, it completes one revolution. Now, for it to complete, yahan se to start kiya, guma, and came back. When it comes back, it takes 365 turns around itself. Can you imagine? Which means one day, like 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, which means one rotation is equal to 1 day, correct? Ek rotate in 1 day. So it takes so many days. It takes 365 days. So it takes 365 times. It is rotating, and comes back. And when it comes, what do you say? Happy New Year. When you complete 365 days, that is 1 year, you say Happy New Year. No, it's not New Year yet. क्यों? 12 o'clock को New Year नहीं बनता है क्योंकि there is more 6 hours for it to complete that one revolution. So, when it becomes 12 o'clock, January 12 के बाद count more 6 hours. Okay, and that's when the earth completes one whole perfect circle. Okay, finish this one revolution around the sun. Clear? So remember, there's just not 365 days, 365 days and 6 hours. But kitne bar rotation? 365 times rotation. Okay? Now, what is leap year? Okay, we've heard of leap year. Let's try to understand what is a leap year. Now, in the Gregorian calendar is the calendar that we all follow. The year is taken to have 365 days, correct? It means that it counts 6 hours less every year. Oh, yeah. Matlab we always forget that 6 hours. Haan, understood? So every year, if we miss that 6 hours, 6 hours ko hum nikal dete. Now in 4 hours, 6, 6, 6, 6. That is 6 fours are. It makes 24. Correct? All the six hours. The 4 साल में वो 6 hours को हम add up करेंगे. We get 24 hours. Or 24 hours can also become one whole day. So in for every 4 hours. Now to make up for this loss of one day, वो एक day, one whole day, 24 hours, one day, वो loss हो रहा है हमारा. For that, every 4th year, the month of February in the Gregorian calendar has an extra day every 4th year. Now you understood? Okay. Now that year is called a leap year and it has 366 days instead of 365 days. And February has 29 instead of 28 days. So anyone who's born in 29th of February have to wait for next 4 years. Okay. For the next birthday to come. So we'll always say, बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल ये गाए. Now, बार बार for them it will always come. 4 साल में दिल ये आए. Okay, so that's how, that is what is called a leap day. 29th is called a leap day, and the year in which it comes is your leap year. It comes every 4 years. Should understand that. Okay, so means इस साल आया तो 4 साल के बाद next leap year आएगा. Now, this is something very important you need to know. I've already given you the page number. It's on page number 8 in your textbook. You need to read this. This is for your general knowledge. All right. Because of the rotations and revolution of the earth. Okay. Can you see the picture right over there on the top? The revolution of the earth. That's why you get your seasons, your spring, your winter, your autumn. All right. Your rainy season. All these happens because of your motions, the motion of the earth. That's your revolution. Now in your in Indian language, okay, in Indian custom, we have the different names. Monsoon is called Ritu. All right. And so sorry, monsoon is called Varsha, and you know all the other names. Okay, you need to go through this. It's just for your general knowledge. All right. So all these, the cycle of the 6 seasons is called the Ritu Chakra. You must have known this. You all know about it. All right. So many songs and so many games are all related to this seasons. Okay. So you can learn more about this. I want you to read this. It's on page number 8 in your textbook. Okay. It's for your general knowledge and for your self-study. Now, the full moon and the new moon. Now, what's the full moon? What's the new moon? It's very interesting. We completed the motions of the sun. Now we are, sorry, I'm so sorry. We completed the motions of the earth. Now, right back, we are into the motions of the moon. Now, what are the motions of the moon? Now, let's try to understand. The moon revolves around the earth. I told you. And what is the moon? Moon is a man-made. So, sorry, I'm so sorry. The moon is a natural satellite, correct? It is going around the earth. All right, just like that. See, the moon revolves around the earth, and the earth revolves around the sun. See the motions going on. ये भी घूम रहा है, वो भी घूम रहा है. Okay. However, these two orbits intersect. Can you see? There is a place where they are meeting. Can you see? It's an intersection there. Hence, the sun, the moon, and the earth are not always in a straight line. Not all the time, or not always you'll find them in a straight line. All right, not always. It's not that it doesn't happen at all. Not always, we meant to say. Now, we see half of the moon's surface which faces the earth. That is, from the earth, we see only one side of the moon. So from the earth, we can only see one side of the moon. The other side, we are not able to see. Why? Because the main reason is the moon has no light of its own. चंद्रमा, क्या सूरज, क्या चंद्र, क्या क्या शाइन देते हो, सूरज रात को आके चमकते हो. No chamak. No, the moon does not have any chamak of its own. Only stars have light of their own. The moon gets its light from the sun. या फिर it's a black ball. उसमें कोई light नहीं है. Okay, it's a black ball. Only because the sun's light is falling on the moon. That is why the moon has a little bit of light. And we can see the moon because of the light. Light is falling on the moon, that's why we can see. So basically these phases of the moon is actually just the light falling, the light cutting. The moon is not changing its shape. Hello, shape nahi change kar raha hai. The light ka jo reflection hai wo shadow change ho raha hai. Understood? The shadow is moving. It's all about the shadow work. Okay, this is not there is no moon changing its shape change or no. We say it is as a shape, but it's actually just the shadow work. Okay, let's try to understand. We can see the moon because of its sun's light that falls, because of the sun's light that falls on it. On a full moon night, we can see the entire side of the moon that faces the earth. On a new moon night, we cannot see any of it. From full moon to the new moon, the illuminated part of the moon seen from the earth becomes smaller and smaller. From new moon to full moon, it again grows bigger and bigger. These different shapes of the moon that we see are called the phases of the moon. Not phases, chehra nahi, phases means stages of the moon. Let's try to understand. I know you've not understood that. Don't worry. We'll just try to understand what it is trying to tell us. Okay. We'll try to understand when we learn this, the lunar month and days. That's Tithi. Now, look carefully at that calendar out there. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th day में क्या हो गया? Full moon दिखता है. Means full moon के ऊपर sun का light गिर गया. Now, from full moon, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 से क्या हो रहा है? Light कम होते 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 26th में new moon. Are they gone crazy? Moon तो है ही नहीं उधर. Look, 26 में बता रहे no full new moon है, it seems. If you cannot see the moon, don't think the moon is not there. It is there. The moon is right over there. Yes, but the only difference is the light is not falling on it, so you cannot see. It's a round, big, black ball sitting over there. Because why it's called a new moon? Because abhi se light होने वाला, light दिखने वाला है on it, and it will gradually start increasing. All right, and so slowly वो खुलने वाला है. Clear? Okay, so full moon से new moon तक वो छोटा छोटा होता है, and then from new moon to full moon वो बड़ा होता जाता है. Let's try to read this. Okay, now you know that it takes 14 or 15 days from new moon to full moon. Okay, this is the fortnight. Fortnight means 15 days. 15 days is called a fortnight of the waxing moon. Waxing means बड़ा होते जा रहा है. After the full moon के बाद, the moon appears smaller and smaller. And after 14 to 15 days, it is new moon again. New moon when there is no moon. Always remember, new moon मतलब कुछ नहीं दिखता है. New moon मतलब कुछ नहीं दिखता है. It's black. Lavanya, stop scribbling on the screen. All right. So this period of the fortnight of the waning moon, okay, this period of fortnight is called the waning. Means क्या हो रहा है? छोटा होके new moon means दिखता ही नहीं है. Thus the period from one moon to the next moon is of 28 to 30 days. It is called the lunar month. It is called the lunar month. Every day of the lunar month is called a Tithi. Now let's try to understand that. Okay. Now the full moon. If you didn't understand that, that's okay, no problem. You understand these 3 lines, it's more than enough. The full moon, जब चांद दिखता है, 15 days लगता है to come to the new moon. Moon गायब. New moon means moon गायब. That's called the waning moon. Means gayab, 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 hote, gayab ho gaya. That's Krishna Paksha, they call it in Indian language. Now, the new moon, okay? Now, gayab wala moon to the full moon. Again, 15 days it takes for the gayab moon to come back to become one full moon. Full moon dikta hai. That is called the waxing moon. That's Shukla Paksha. Okay? Now, you should understand this. Now, the fortnight means 15 days of waxing moon, 15 din uska, the fortnight, the 15 days of the waning moon. Okay, that's the waning moon. 15 plus 15 gives me 30 days. 30 days gives me 1 month. And that's why it's called a lunar month. No, don't think January, February, March, April, then after December, there's one more month which is called a lunar month. No, lunar month comes anytime throughout your calendar. Okay, now it doesn't actually have to start in first only, 1st of Jan or 1st of July. No, anytime throughout your calendar it can start. Whenever you start to see full moon se leke whenever you start, okay, you count after full moon, you count 15 days, you will find that the moon is gayab. Okay, that becomes your full moon to the new moon, that is your waning moon. Then again 15 days count back from the gayab moon to full moon, and that becomes your waxing moon, and that's when you get your 15 plus 15, that is your 30 days of a lunar month. Okay, and okay, all of you quickly on to your chat boxes. All right, so let's see whether you are able to answer these questions. Fill in the blanks. The motions of the earth around itself is called? The motion of the earth around itself is called? Come on, chat box, everyone. Very good. Rotation. Good. Very good, children. Very good. The motion of the earth around itself is called rotation. Very good. Now, the motion of the earth around the sun is called? Around the sun is called? Is called around the sun. Revolution. Very good. Yes. Around the sun. Very good. Revolution. Okay. All of you see to it that you get the correct spelling. All right. It's okay. Now you can give me any spelling, or if you want, I just want your answer, but you see to it that you get perfect with your spellings. Okay. That's very good. Revolution. Very good. Now the rotation of the earth gives rise to, because of the rotation of the earth, what do we get? Because of the rotation of the earth, we get, because of the rotation of the earth around itself, we get, very good. Yeah, day and night. Yes, very good. We get day, and not only days, we get day also, night also. Because the earth is rotating around itself, we get day and night. Very good. That's right. Very good. Okay, now let's go to the next one. All right. Now answer the following questions. What is the equator? All right. What is the equator? What is the equator? Okay. Come on. It's simple answer. Just tell me, what is the equator? That thin, that one single, the middle part. You can't say middle part, baby. That line, yeah, you should be, yeah, the center line. Exactly. The center line, the line that divides the earth into two equal parts. All right. Exactly how you cut the orange into exactly center. All right. And so that's called your equator. All right. The center line, remember. That's called your equator. It divides the earth. Now, what are the two parts of the earth made by the equator? What are the two parts made by the equator? Not N and S, baby. That is North Pole, South Pole. What are the two parts? Don't say middle part. I told you it's not a part at all. It's a line. Very good. Southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere. Very good. Okay, southern, you should always say both of them. Northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. These are the two things that the earth is, the equator is dividing the earth into the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Okay. Now, How many rotations does the earth complete during one revolution around the sun? How many rotations does the earth do to complete one revolution around the sun? कितना बार घूमता है? Don't keep it 366, baby. Keep it 365 to be exact. Okay? 365 days, 6 hours. But now they're asking how many rotation. So 365 rotation banata hai, but more 6 hours it rotates. But it's not exactly a whole rotation because one rotation is equal to 24 hours. Only 24 hours hua to matlab ek full rotation ho gaya. So you should always keep it as 365 rotations. 365 days. Yes, that's right. But 365 rotations the earth does to complete one revolution around the sun. All right. So very good, my dear kids. You've learned it very well. I'm so happy, so proud of you.